Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Ron. Let's give me
I see you were telling me this. You've got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts.
My name's Chris Allen, and this is Martial Arts Chat Podcast. Today, I've got the honour of being joined by Gavin Big Tasty Hughes. I was actually honoured to watch him fight personally in Bellator Birmingham only last month. So, Gavin, thank you very much. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good, mate. Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it. I know we've been you and me have been chatting for a little while, trying to get this done, and really appreciate you finding the time to finally do it with us. And so. Let's go straight into it then. Like, first of all, I want to do is how's the family? Last time I spoke to you, your missus or your girlfriend or your wife was due. Has she had the baby yet?
Yeah, she's due in 2 weeks. One little girl, Rosie, she's 2, and I'll have my second little girl, the 15th of July.
Oh, good for you. So maybe getting back into the gym's actually going to be like sort of like the easy bit, you reckon?
Yeah, to be honest, my missus understands. I'm in the gym constantly anyway. But it's the best thing in having another little girl.
No, it's nice, you've got the people around you as well to help you out, because as some people don't see that side of the fights, they don't see the fights you have at home as well as the ones you have, in the cage.
My missus doesn't know any different. Like, since I've had my first fight, I've been with her. So I've been with my girl 10 years now. So I've had 17 fights we've had together. So she does all my camps with me.
Well, that's nice. Then continuous, constant support. Has she been there literally since day one, amateur sort of career?
Yeah. So since 17 fights I've had. So she's been there for every one.
Oh,
the only ones she hasn't been able to make it is the ones in South Africa, but I think that's a bit understandable. That.
Yeah, that's mad, because you've actually, obviously I know all this, but people who don't know, tell people what countries you've actually fought in the world. It's actually quite outstanding. Yeah, seeing as your career's only been 4 years, you've done quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I've fought in Johannesburg under the EFC banner. Fought in Johannesburg and Cape Town as well. Fought in Scotland as well on ACB. So I've been on some big shows as well. Obviously, that's what's led to me signing with Bellator.
How did you get a call from the South African boys, like EFC? Did you know someone who was fighting the organisation who put your name forward, or were they scouting in the UK at the time? I
think they were scouting, obviously, but my coach Tom Blackledge, he's very highly regarded and very well known. So he's got a lot of contacts. But I've done well in my career as well. So I was unbeaten as an amateur, and I was unbeaten then as well when they'd signed me as a pro. So I think obviously they were looking at UK fighters and they chose me.
Well, yeah, if you look back at your career, when you came off some of your early pro fights and you're fighting for ISFC. You went straight into ACB against. Let's not put him down. Chris Bungard is a great fighter. You got that. Do you think that was that your biggest fight to date? At that time.
Yeah, definitely at that time. Yeah, I'd had some hard fights at amateur as well, which obviously made me turn pro. I'd fought one of Gunnar Nelson's teammates. I think it was his best mate as well, Biggie. That was for the title. But so I'd had hard fights at amateur as well. So I was ready for them type of fights with on big shows like ACB and that. But that's just a big thank you to my coach as well. That's my coach just make sure that we tick all them boxes before we move on to the next stage, like what we did with EFC before we've done it with Bellator. That's why I'm ready now.
And obviously when you walked into ACB, big it's the biggest stage was it one of the biggest stages you've been on?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think there was many shows like that at the time. Obviously, it's not that long ago. But for local lads to be fighting on shows like that,
ACB is well known. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That was his first one over here as well. ACB in Glasgow, weren't it?
Yeah, and you took on the homeboy as well. To make it even tougher. So who was, he was 7-2 at the time, I think he was. But you were coming in undefeated. So is that sort of gave you that extra confidence? Coming in undefeated against the hometown boy. Well, how are you feeling coming down?
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't even bother me. It's weird. Obviously, it was exactly the same in South Africa when I was going over there. I was the baddie every time. Fought at high altitude in Joburg against a tough took grappler as well, like a black belt. It's just all it. Everything's just them little steps, like I've just been saying, like about what we do. Them little steps you do that makes you ready for your next stage all the time. It's growing. It's not about just jumping in. These people are just jumping in on big shows. It's like it can be rushed. You know, you've got a long career. If you do it right, you got a long career. If you don't do it right, it's surely lived.
Exactly. You don't want to be, as I said, you are doing it the right way. You have fought for quite a few different organisations, and you obviously now you've got onto probably one of the biggest names in the world in Bellator. Do you feel by actually fighting in all these different organisations has really mentally prepared you for when you walk down the stage at Bellator Birmingham? Because EFC is no small show, right?
No, it's massive. It's their biggest show in the country. You know, you're sitting in the hotel and it's all on the telly. You're on the telly. It's massive over there. Like, as soon as you land, it's like, you know, it's their biggest show by far. But that's what's got me ready for Bellator. So I didn't feel any nerves or anything. I'd had like 14 months out since my last fight. Obviously, been working. Obviously, I'd had matches and that with the FC, and we got let down. But I didn't feel nerves at all. But this is what I've been saying. This is how you do it at the right time. You grow, and that's how you perform. I believe anyway.
I recommend anyone to go on online and watch some of the videos yourself, going through all your different parts of your career. You're a finishing man as well. You know, you put on exciting fights. You've only had one decision, so is that what your game plan is going to each fight? Get it done.
I do like to finish. Like the one that went to decision was at altitude, so I did feel like I was holding back a little bit. Anyone who's fought at altitude knows it takes it out of you, especially when you can't adapt. You haven't got time to adapt there. There's only so much altitude training you can do over there. It just feels totally different.
How soon did you go over there, like, to prepare for it?
I think they sent us out. I think it was like 9 days before we fought.
Is that it? 9 days? I thought you were saying 9 months.
No. But to be honest, I was sick before it as well. I'd caught something, so I couldn't train for like a couple of weeks. But this is what we always say. Like, me and my coach, we're always ready if anything happens. This is why you can say you've got to take them chances when they're offered to you. And we took it and we won the fight, and then we got the world title fight.
Well, you probably lost your first ever round in that fight, against was it Dion Brunning? That was his name, wasn't it? Yeah. If arguably, So yeah, did you really think like from the altitude then, and maybe stepping up to the bigger scene? Do you reckon that's what made it a little bit tougher? Making it go to unanimous decision where usually you do finish your fights, or is it the caliber of fight you felt you were fighting?
You know what? I think all fair, like, all respect to Dion. He was a legit black belt. He was graded over there. He wasn't graded over in South Africa, so he was graded here and he was legit. Like, definitely holding back that little bit. Like, obviously he was used to it because he lived there. So, but when we landed, they were like, "Oh, the altitude's going to kill you. It's going to kill you off." So, it does put it in your head. You try and be positive, but when people are saying, "Listen, you're going to gas," or every time someone comes over, you gas. You've seen Cain Velasquez. He was actually from Mexico and he fought there and he gasped because he wasn't adapted to it. Your body's not meant to be there if it's not adapted. It doesn't feel like it's meant to be there, especially performing and fighting. So, but we done it, and that was another learning curve, and we got the win.
Oh, mate, do you know what? And it was it's actually, I said, as you've been talking now, I've been looking through your record here as well, and it's really, really amazing to see the achievements you've had as well. When you went to Bellator, I really want to know, how did that call for Bellator come? Because I know you well deservedly, but how did that actually come around?
I think obviously, as we were talking about with my coach Tom, I think Jude had been interested a little bit as well. But I was signed to EFC, so I think they'd been in touch a little bit earlier. But with me being contracted to EFC, we wanted to go back out. We wanted to get that title. We weren't finished with that title, with that show. But with it being a contender fight, there wasn't no one there for me to fight. And things happen for a reason. Like, I'm fighting for me the best organisation in the world. And I've only had one fight under them, and the way I've been seated already, so I'm very impressed.
Well, yeah, you're starting where you left off, you know, from your winning ways. You know, you're starting off, you're finishing people off again. You're quite a patient fighter though as well. You know, I'm sort of making out like if people haven't seen many of your fights that you run in there and just go for the kill. But you're a patient fighter. You know, you're patient. You're grappling. You're very controlling. You know, in your last Bellator fight, we saw that a lot. Like, was that your game plan for that fight?
Yeah, I think if you watch me all ones, you wouldn't say that though. Tom, my coach, he's helped me a lot with that side of it because I do like to go out and have a good fight and that. I am quite aggressive, but he's pulled me back and you know, added a lot to my game. I was a little bit injured on that fight as well, so there was certain things I felt like I couldn't do. Like I was stuck in his half guard for long periods, and it's not really me. I would have passed. But I'd had a little injury to my knee, which I'd been training for like 3 weeks before the fight. But as I said, I don't pull out. And we just and I was ready anyway. That's why we're always ready to fight in case anything does happen. But I felt like I was a little bit. I could have finished it a lot earlier. I felt like, no disrespect to him, but I felt like I could have. But I was just having to be that little bit more patient, so my knee didn't pop again. But we got the win, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you showed you how good your ground game is in the past anyway. Like I don't need to go back to the Bungard fight, you know, an excellent ground fight, you know, excellent jiu-jitsu fight, and you were reversing him and you submitted someone like him. So it's coming to someone like Bellator with an injury, you know, and the guy you fought he's coming off a debut win as well himself, you know, from before. So you must have been full of confidence. So what did it you know, did you know much about your opponent, you know, before coming into this fight? Did you do much research on him at all?
Yeah, I done a bit of research on him, like we do on all our fights. But I knew he was going to come out totally different. When someone had that much of a spell, like he'd had a little break himself. Like I think he was like 15 months, like the same as me. You can't expect that same person to come out. There's a reason why. Well, a lot of people when they're not there or they're not fighting for a period, obviously they might be injured, but they're still working and still betting themselves. He was only still quite young, 24, 25, so. He was, I wasn't expecting the same fighter, which it didn't. And he come out southpaw, which threw me. If you watch me at the start of the fight, I moving to the right, and then I get on, and he's come out southpaw. But I spoke to his coach, and he said, that's what did work against me. Well, it didn't work.
No, definitely proved it right. So have you got anything you're allowed to officially announce? Like, have you been spoken to again about another fight with Bellator?
Yeah, well, we've been told to hold back a little bit on announcing, wait for them to announce it. But I'll be back anyway with them, so that's good news.
Well,
they should announce it this week. Sorry.
Carry on, Dev.
Yeah, they should announce something this week, or at least some news anyway.
All right, cool. Obviously, I don't want you to give anything away. Like, Dave, you have to answer the question, but would you like to fight somewhere like Bellator Dublin, or would you like to wait till it comes back onto the UK soil again?
No, I'm ready to go anyway. Like
cool.
I was saying before about EFC, we travelled on the other side of the world, so Dublin sounds like home by the sounds of it. But we're used to travelling, and that's why we've done it.
Yeah, no, you sound like you say you're talking about your backup. You got a home. Like, how was it? You know, when you went to South Africa, like with the family life, or were you not there for that long? Were you going back to the UK between fights?
Yeah, well. It was mad. It was just mad being the baddie over there. Like you'd come out and you'd be booed and everything, but it was, you know what, you got to enjoy. You got to soak everything up, haven't you? You know, as I said before, like the career is not very long, is it? Do you know what I mean? So you got to enjoy every aspect, everything of it, and that's what I've learned of as well, especially from my first lot, just to enjoy it all and enjoy the whole journey. This is what I'm doing now.
Well, and we're enjoying it with you, you know, and it is a very exciting journey to be following you on. I can't wait to see you fight in Bellator or wherever you're going to be fighting again soon. Question I really like to ask fighters, and I'm sure you've been asked it all through your career, Gavin, but you know, I've always found it really interesting, is, you know, we weren't all fighters when we started. You know, a lot of us in the UK didn't have MMA as an option. You know, I did judo myself. There wasn't really anything else. So what got you into combat sports originally, and like, what was your background before getting into it?
Well, Liverpool had a lot of local fighters around that time, like Terry Etam, and there was a big buzz in Liverpool around that time when I started like getting into it.
Yeah.
But I'd done nothing. Like obviously I'd been like a little bit of a scrapper and that, but I'd done no like martial arts or anything. But you know what? I think that can be a good thing. You know, you're not stuck to one aspect. Like, you're not just a wrestler. I'm a full MMA fighter. Anyways, you can see me fight it's all round finishes. It's not just if I come up against someone who's a wrestler, I can still reverse, I can stay standing. Like a black belt, obviously with force, I can keep it standing. You know, I can always mix it up. You know, if I'm struggling standing with someone, I can take them down and sub them. So you need that all round game, especially like you definitely need that all round game, I think.
So did you not do any like background in boxing or anything like that? You literally went straight into MMA gym.
Nothing, just balls on the streets.
Were you like a football? Did you play a bit of football or anything? Was it literally just, you know, you're an athlete from where you were growing up?
You know, I'd always like to keep fit and everything. I'd always been into boxing and everything, but I couldn't really say I had a background or anything. So it started like 21, 31 now. So I've still had a long time doing it.
Yeah, mate, plenty of time. So you know, out of all those organisations you've fought in, which one do you feel like you learnt the most? You know, from like you had your best experiences in.
Definitely EFC by far. Even though I'd had a loss as well, I've learned more from that than any fight I've ever had by far. Learned about myself, learned about my game, and we just sometimes you don't learn till you lose, do you? Like,
No.
It's perfect. I'd rather have lost. Obviously, it was a world title fight and it hurt and everything. I was gutted, but it happened for a reason, and this reason now is proving it's with Bellator, isn't it? So that reason, them changes have been done with me and my coach and my team. So this is where we see that new improved Gavin.
You know, well, if there's any more to see, you know, improve, I find like watching you, as you said, you're a really good all-round fighter in the UK, where maybe we don't have that much of our background in wrestling isn't so solid. So, what did you when you first started MMA? Was there a particular aspect of the sport which you were more drawn, like you were really drawn to? Like, did you really want to work on your wrestling or your stand-up?
No, always the striking. Till I met Tom, it was always the striking. And as soon as I met Tom, it was the grappling then, and then that's when it all just started, you know, all folding into one and just becoming that complete fighter. I'd always like to strike. I'd always like to spar and stuff first. But then just love every bit of it now, especially the wrestling side of it.
And are you still in are you training in the same gym you have from day one?
Yeah, basically since I've took it serious. I've been to obviously a few local gyms in Liverpool. Where I started out with, first started at Carbon. Didn't stay there too long, and then I was fighting out to Sapphires in Liverpool. And then Tom come in, and that's when, as soon as I've met Tom, I don't think I've not spoke to him every day for the past 7 years. I think I'm doing his head in a little bit. But you know, you find that person who's right for you, and you know, it's proved it.
Yeah, mate, and you need that someone to give you that drive and give you that push. You know, you want to make yourself better. Like, you know, you're seeing fighters now lasting till, you know, well into their 40s now. You know, like I was at Bellator last weekend. You know, there's Melvin Manouf. He's 43 years old. You know,
Yeah,
still knocking people out. You know.
Yeah, still, like you could see the lad was still very wary of his hands, and I've always watched him as well. I met him when I went to Uno Vial in Brazil. He was there. He went over for some training. Yeah, he was a nice fellow as well.
What did you think about Bungard's performance? Obviously, he didn't win. Like, what were you watching that fight? What were you thinking when that was going on?
I don't know. I can't really say much, but
I'm not trying to prompt you to smack talk anyone.
No, I mean that. I'm not bothered about that. It was just, I don't know. I've seen them holes in his game anyway. I felt like he capitalised on them. You know, Bungard's he's a good fighter. You know, like a few people have been bad mouthing him a bit recently. You know, he's legit still. Do you know what I mean? He's still good. You know, he give me a bit of an hard time to start with. But I think it was a good fight to watch. I think he just broke a little bit near the end.
Oh, Gavin, hello. Hello, mate. How you doing? All right.
Sorry, maybe battery went dead then.
Oh, was that what it was? Was it? Okay. I'm screaming at my internet, like I'm kicking the modem and everything.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we were going to talk about the Bungard. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was a good fight. Do you know what I mean? I've seen them holes in his game, which is what I'd seen when I'd fought him. I don't feel like he's come on as much as he should have been in this period of time since I fought him. I think he's not improved as much, but you know, I still think he's a there's a reason why Bellator have signed him. He's still a good fighter. But I just feel like he just got outclassed a little bit that night.
Yeah, he's a quality fighter, but he was taking on Terry Brazier. He was a double champion in Bama.
Yeah.
That's no easy. Have you two ever crossed paths before?
No. It's all potential fights though, and I'm liking all the lads who are in the division. It's like some exciting fights. My coach told me, we've talked about them, and we're always keeping a little eye on, but we're ready for anyone. It's never we don't look for our opponents. That's why I'm not big on like talking shit with people and that.
Yeah.
I know it needs to be, but we don't look at anyone. We're better than me all the time. This is when people realise when they fight against me, they get that different. They'll get that different caliber of fighter. They're gonna struggle with me. We're seeing them holes in them, and then people who are potential opponents, and we know we can win all them fights.
So is that are you looking to stay quite active now? Like, I know you've got a new family member joining you, but it looks like in the past that hasn't actually stopped you at all from doing what you wanted to do. So are you looking to fight more than once again this year, maybe?
Yeah, definitely try and get two in. If you watch my career, I've been very active until UFC put that little stop on it. I think I was fighting like every 3 months, or like I was just very active. Do you know what I mean? I'm 10-1. I've not been pro that long. The break wasn't down to us; it was down to UFC, and it wasn't their fault to a certain extent. There was just no one there for us to fight. So they did give us releases to fight on other shows and everything. But then Bellator come up, so that was for a reason. Then
Yeah, I see here actually. I don't know how long. Like you even looked at some. It's like all sorts of shows. Didn't just to get some. Keep fighting. Because obviously you're thriving for it. You need to fight all the time. Like Celtic Gladiator was one, wasn't it? That was meant to happen. I think was that sound that ring any bells?
Yeah. Well, that was the last fight before I was meant to before in the last year.
Yeah.
And obviously, but then Bellator come up. So, but 14 months we had break, and I didn't like it, but it was something that we done and we improved through that period of time.
What did you do? What were you doing with yourself during that time? Apart from obviously you were training. Were you doing any out of like sport, out of competitions, anything like that?
No, just more wrestling, more like freestyle wrestling with actual like Olympic wrestlers and stuff. But just working on them little things that like obviously from the fight where I lost, there's little things I used to do and I don't do now. Like I used to get like very aggressive and like not relax and like go in and have a scrap sometimes, and where Tom, my coach, was always saying, we can't do that. You know what I mean? Like I'd done that against someone who had like 25 knockouts or something like that. I was winning the fight, but he just caught me lucky with a knee. No, not lucky, a good shot. But as I said, I've learned from it, and it's paid that it happened for a reason.
Well, that was that guy's like 27th, 28th fight as well, though. I remember.
Yeah, easy. They put me against their best lad, and I was winning the fight. I felt like I was breaking him, and he just caught me with one shot. And if you watch me, I smile and bite down, and this is what obviously I was known for. Come on, let's have a scrap. So
game plan out the window. Go to instincts.
I think I just hear my coaches saying, "Oh, I've lost them." That was my old habits. But he done it. He caught me, and I just thought, "Come on, let's have a scrap." And he just caught me with a knee. But as I said before, like things happen for a reason. You can't blame your mistakes on anyone. You can only you've got to use them as something good and learn from it.
Well, without sounding selfish, at least it brought you back to the UK for us to see you fight here.
Exactly. I get a lot of experience as well, taking it into Bellator.
That's it, man. And what also so don't want to sound like a stupid question. Obviously, you want to be the champion, but what is your overall goal, like in this sport? Are you wanting to move on? I know Bellator and UFC, pretty much the same sort of level of organisation now. But is UFC something you like to look at as well in the future? We're looking in the distant future.
Yeah, definitely. But to me, Bellator is just so like it's like the way they're doing it in the UK. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like I'm so lucky to be signed with them, and it's just like. It's just really active as well in the UK, and obviously the UFC is as well, but Bellator just seems to be the one that I'm enjoying watching, obviously, and there's a big buzz around it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad I'm involved in it. But to be honest, at the minute I'm just focused on Bellator, and we do see that belt as well. We're not just coming in just to fight any just normal fights, but we wanna leave for that title. We see it. I can definitely see it in me in the future, in the very near future.
So are you allowed to, I know you're not allowed to, you can't say you confirm your next fight, but can you confirm it's definitely going to be within Bellator?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cool, 100%. Is it definitely going to be this year?
Definitely, yeah.
I'm going to start asking you questions now. I'm going to start pissing you off.
Yeah, I'm alright.
No. Obviously, I'll look out for it. I'll look forward to see who that eventually is going to be. So, excuse me, mate. So, is there any particular people you train with in the gym? Like you bring in like on every different training camp, or like for your jiu-jitsu or your striking, or have you been training with the same sort of people all your career?
I was training with the same people. If you know, obviously a lot of people know my coach and that, and we've got a very good close team. He brings his fighters through the amateur ranks. He doesn't just get a fighter who's a professional. He brings them through and builds them. And this is why this is very important, I think. And he's built me as he's doing it with another about 7 or 8 fighters. And we've got Andrew Clamp as well. A lot of people know him. He's ranked 4th, and he hasn't fought for a little bit. He's going to be coming out very soon. A massive, scary talent. But we've got a lot of fight. Even Jordan Barton as well. He's fought on ACB and that. But the way my coach does it, he does it right. He brings people through, builds them through the amateur career, builds them through the pro ranks, and then we're about to release a lot of fighters on big shows. And hopefully I'm opening a door for them as well. But the team we've got, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And everyone's going to see it soon.
That's it, and obviously we want to see as much British talent as we can coming through. We see Michael Bisping retire now, and Jimmy Manuwa, another one we're watching is just retired. Dan Hardy is staying. I spoke to him actually at Bellator. He said he does want to fight again, but just when we will see it. Yeah, So Gavin, it's great. It's great to see some more British talent. Coming. There's a lot of British talent out there, but getting more known like yourself. Getting these big. You're getting on the Bellator cards. And
I think it's the opportunities as well, isn't it? The opportunity to give Tim Wilder's got main events against Primus.
Yeah, exactly.
Primus that's I know he lost the fight, but it's still a massive opportunity, and it's nice to see that as well. We're getting them opportunities, and I know I'm going to get them because I know I'm going to perform, and I know I'm going to get them wins and finishes. I know a lot of people like to see you finish fights, not just go to decisions, and
yeah,
I know I'll do that.
But it must feel nice as well to know you're more than likely going to get on a big event in the UK. Look at last weekend with Bellator 223, title fight, everything, and they're going to be coming to the UK. So does it feel good knowing you're not going to? I know you don't mind travelling around the world, but do you feel good knowing you can do it on home soil on still a massive pay-per-view card?
It is nice not being the baddie coming out and getting booed, but as I've said, it is part of it as well. It was boss being back home for Birmingham. Hearing me crowd and all that shouting for me, because I've got a massive support as well, so I always, when I'm at home, I always take a big crowd. So it was something strange when I was walking out just getting booed, but it doesn't bother me anyway. But it is nice to see your family and friends supporting you.
Do you find that's more pressure though, seeing your family and friends there sitting in the front watching you?
I don't know, it's just normal. I just like to fight, so it's not really bothers me. I was just itching to get in because I've been away for a little bit. I was just that excited just to get in, even with me being injured and everything. It just nothing was stopping me from getting in on that fight and making sure to secure that win.
That's it. So that's it. One fight in Bellator already. A finish already in the division, second round finish. Significant win as well, and decisive. Another question I really like to ask people, and again, you probably answered this question a million times. Where did the nickname Big Tasty come from? And obviously we're assuming McDonald's or something, but I want to hear where this one came from.
It's not to do, the conversation was about it. You have to ask my coach, to be honest, guy. It's not really. It's nothing to do with burgers anyway. I don't eat Macca's. I eat clean.
Yeah.
I'm on my diet constantly. But we were talking about burgers and we were talking about Big Tasties. One of the lads in the gym, and Tom said, "You look like a Big Tasty." I was like, "What the fuck's that meant to me?" And he went, "No, you're a tasty fighter, aren't you?" So it just stuck then. It just stuck. Tom's always getting nicknames for everyone, and that one just stuck. We said it on the show on ice. I didn't know my teammates had said it, and it come out. I was like, fucking bastards. Why we said that? And next minute it went on Tapology and everything, so it just stuck. And you know what? I actually like it now.
Sorry, did you know when did you acquire the nickname? Before Bellator or a while back?
Oh, ages. It was
Oh,
when I was
sorry.
fighting. It was when I was fighting on ice.
Okay.
They literally my teammates went over to the commentary and said, "Say Big Tasty," and then since then it's just stuck. It's just stuck. So I think I didn't ever want a nickname, but it's not done me no bad anyway.
Everyone's given a nickname. You can't make your own one up, you know.
Oh, you can't make your own one up.
Otherwise, it'll all end up being called Pitbull. There'll be like thousands more.
So no, you're cringe ball if you make your own up anyway.
So, when you come into your fight, so question I like to ask as well, when you're coming into your fights, you know, you are looking healthy, you know, you're not looking drawn or anything. So, are you fighting at your preferred weight, or are you cutting quite a lot, or are you quite comfortable?
Do you know what it is? It's about like I've looked at a few lightweights recently here in Bellator, and they look really drawn in, look really small and drawn in. But you watch them throughout the year, or even just after fight, they balloon up, and like they look big and they look scary and all that. But they're cutting that weight. You know, it's not good to be walking around too heavy. Obviously, don't want to walk around too light, but you've got to make it a lifestyle. I make it my lifestyle. I don't come in small. Like people might meet me and think that I might be a bit of a small lightweight, but when I fight and compete, I don't look small because there's a way of doing it. There's a way of cutting. I still cut like 6 kilos last week, but I'm never really that far off it. So there's just ways of doing it, and I know for a fact I'm doing it the right way. And this is why if you listen to the fight, the commentary is saying, "Oh, he's gonna gas." Because I'm just putting that pace I'll put on people, as we all do in my gym at Blackledge. We don't gas. That's the pace we do every day, day in, day out. Then that's where your nutritional side will come into it, and that'll help you. You refuel right. Everything. It's got to be a life. It's not just got to be a 6-week camp or 8-week camp. We don't do camps. We just train every single day, and you can see the difference, as you just said. You know, why don't you look drawn or just because you've got to make it that lifestyle.
No, exactly. And, you know, as you said, you want to fight for a long time as well. And if you're going to be cutting that much weight all the time, you know, and you're going to be killing yourself. You know, that's
like I always still do like the cut the last week and everything. I still have to do a bath and everything, but it's easy. It's done like it's just done right through Tom, through the knowledge of we like we're constantly learning stuff all the time, and we've got it on point. I know we haven't. This is why if you, as said, then you listen to the fella, he's like, he's gonna gas, he's gonna fatigue. That doesn't ever happen to me. Didn't happen at altitude. I was still putting that pace on. It doesn't happen because we do things right. We refuel right.
That's what I was going to ask. In your only unanimous decision, sorry to interrupt, in your only unanimous decision, how did you feel then? 3 rounds at that altitude and with that pace, how did you feel after 3rd round? 2 more, you could have done it?
If you watch it, I'm still trying to finish him right at the end, but just because he wasn't engaging as much. And obviously I still have to be careful because he was a black belt and he was legit. So if you do something silly, you can still get tapped out. You know what I mean? You've still got to be, you know what I mean? Not just looking for the finish silly. But if you watch the fight, I'm still trying to finish it right at the end. I wasn't like trying to take him down myself, or I was still trying to knock him out basically. But he was a good opponent.
So you're going to. So I know you haven't experienced it yet, but you would feel confident, 4th and 5th rounds if it went that far. I know you don't like going that far. You definitely feel happy there.
Yeah, well, obviously that world title fight, we trained for that. To be honest, we trained for like about 7. But we were ready to go all the way. Do you know what I mean? And if you watch that fight as well, the pressure I put on him and the pace I put on him, he's gassed from the end of the 1st round. Even if you watch my last fight as well, if you watch him in the corner, they say they're looking at me to see if I'm gassed when I'm going in my corner, and I'm standing. And if you look at him, Mohammed, he's sitting down, gassed. So everyone was thinking I was going to be tired. It wasn't. The pace I'm putting on people is breaking them, and they're struggling. So I think that's how you break people mentally, by sticking that pace on them.
And that's also what's going to get you more noticed in the industry as well. You know, and even though you're winning, your winning should be enough. But you know, nowadays there's so many fighters out there. If you keep putting on those sort of performances, and you know the high pace and high pressure, and that's what the fans want to see. You know, that's what they're going to be. They're going to be the fights they're going to be putting on main cards.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like I couldn't do it as much as I wanted to, as well. But you know, the main thing is we got the win.
No, that's it. And I know you've had a lot of different fights in different organisations, but would you say that was your most memorable win at Bellator, or would you say maybe something back in South Africa?
No, definitely that one by far. It's a dream, innit? Like fighting on these type of shows like Bellator and UFC, and that the Bellator tops it. But it's not going to top it because I'm going to make sure every time I fight on it, tops it again, it tops it again. We've got that vision of that world title again. This time we'll make sure we get it.
I'll tell you what, and if you're that happy after that fight, we saw how happy you were after when you had your fight in ACB. You know, the celebrations in the cage after that were immense. You know, so to see that you're still putting on fights where you're getting just as memorable wins from each fight, you know, that just shows how exciting.
I love that. I love what I do. Do you know what I mean? I'm so lucky to do what I do, day in day out. You know, I coach as well, so it's my life. Do you know, we've got a gym in Liverpool as well, Titanium MMA. And it's just my life. I teach kids, I teach adults. I've got like amateur fighters myself.
Do you work a full-time 9 to 5, or is it all teaching?
No, we're just all teaching. I just teach MMA. My life's just MMA. That's all it is. But
amazing.
Best, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I'm sitting here thinking, I wish I wasn't 32. I wish I didn't sit and smoke cigarettes my whole life.
You think you miss stuff like that as you were being a fighter. A lot of fighters think they miss stuff, and
you didn't miss anything.
You don't, yeah. You're doing the best thing in the world.
And all your friends are coming to say, I can't think of anything better than putting on a performance like that in front of all my friends and family. Like, to me, that is just, and then going back and being that person everyone's talking about. I know it sounds big-headed or whatever, but
it's not. You know, you've got to enjoy everything. That's what I was saying before about enjoying that journey. You've got to enjoy everything because you're a long time retired. Like, I've got no thought of retiring anytime soon. Like, no thought, but obviously, like, we've seen Manoff fighting today, 43 and that, so, but then, what, like 43? I think after that, it's an early retirement, isn't it, fighting,
Wasn't Randy Couture like 49? 48? Yeah. Something like that.
I think it's changed. Although same weight, isn't it? Same weight, you can stay around longer. I think heavyweights and light heavyweight can stick around a lot longer. Depending on what style of fight you are, though, isn't it?
Well, this is a statistical fight. They say you lighter weights. Like a bantamweight will receive 80% more punches than a heavyweight. You know, because a heavyweight is just one hit, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, with you, it's one hit though. That's the thing.
I move too quick for them to hit me.
That's what I mean by saying it just shows everyone's got knockout power. But no, you're right. But do you know what? There's no reason why we're seeing fighters go later into their careers now. Chael Sonnen's only just retired. You know,
all day.
Do you know what I mean? So a long time to go, and you know, all of us are going to be watching in the UK. I can't wait to be case-side for one of your fights again. I'll keep a lookout for your name. What I want to do though quickly is, because I could literally sit here and talk to you for hours, Gavin, I really could, mate. Yeah, but I will have to end it there, mate. But what I want to do is give you the opportunity to give a shout out to any of your sponsors, training partners, family, anyone you want to. Like, the floor's yours. Now's your time, mate.
Well, big thank you to my team. Big thank you to Tom Buckledge, my coach. All my team, like by far the best team we've got in the world. Big thank you to all them. Big thank you to Feel Supreme, PNI Supplements and LM Therapy. Big thank you to Jude as well and Adam Horn for making things happen as well. So, and a big thank you to Bellator.
Amazing, mate, and again, thank you very much from me. You know, I really appreciate you took the time to come on. You know, you've got a young child, you've got another one literally in coming 2 weeks' time. For all we know, we could have ended this conversation half early. You could have been halfway to the hospital by now, you know.
But very much, mate.
No, but good luck with all. You know, regards to your family. I hope everything goes well, and good luck with the new little one coming, and with your next fight coming, mate.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers, Gary.
Right, speak to you soon.
Change your heart.